number one live show in the world, West Coast Pop Lock Podcast. Coming to you from Pig Studios in Compton, California. Featuring radio personality Super Steve Flores, comedian extraordinaire, that dude Johnny C, and Mr. I'll Do Anything for a Buck, Mario 81. So throw your dubs in the air and let's get ready to pop lock!
Show number 27. It's the West Coast Pop Lock Podcast. And you already know the main guys, myself, Super Steve, that dude Johnny C, Mario 81. Woo. And today we have our homeboy, Carl.
Sup, Carl?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Casual Carl.
Yeah, what up?
And Carl worked with me at K-Rock. And the way he got hired at K-Rock is his brother used to work with us. Crazy James, they call him Crazy James. Super fan. Super fan
Love
of the
you,
world
bro.
famous K-Rock. Cool ass dude. Hey, I wish you well, bro. Maybe you can come and hang out, maybe.
That did not sound like a ringing endorsement.
No, I'm just saying, like, so we hired Crazy James, and he was like, my brother wants a job. My brother wants a job, dude. And I was like, yo, dog, I'm being real with you, bro. Don't hire him, dude. Because he's way cooler than you, dog. He is way cooler than you, bro. And your ace, the one thing that you're known for, because right now, all your friends, everybody around you, your hood, James works for K-Rock. Now, your cool brother's going to work for K-Rock.
James' brother works for K-Rock.
And your shit's going to go aside. And you know what, man? I'm sorry to say, dude, it happened, bro.
You know?
He got hired, and fucking everyone's like, fuck, Carl's cool. Fucking, this fool ran through Coachella naked with another friend of ours by the name Joey the Pants.
Yeah.
They took their shit out and ran through the fucking Coachellas.
What length of a run are we talking about?
It was a sprint. It was okay. So in all honesty, it was like after hours because we were the working crew.
There were still people there, though.
Hey, there was the stragglers, right? They got a free show.
Yeah, they got a free show. There were still people there, and it was like from.
But it was a nice long run, though. Not like a little run.
Yeah, they were catching their breath after.
It was a full-on sprint.
Wait, did you get popped by their Coachella police or anything?
This was like in the beginning, though. Not in the beginning, but
the Coachella
it was before it popped off. I think it was like in 07, something rather.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it was still like that.
Yeah. It was like it was like blowing up. But it wasn't for what it is now.
Sure. I mean, Coachella's been sold out since the first Coachella.
Yeah.
It's just gotten bigger and bigger every time.
Well, I mean, I think 2007, 2008, there was the most sneaked in attendance. People that actually fucking whether they booked it, whether they faked their credentials.
Non-ticketed attendance.
Yeah, non-ticketed attendance. That's
when they started doing the paper scan tickets. So what was happening was people would go in through lines at the same time with the same ticket, and when you scan it, it would go back, and then it would a central computer and be like, oh, this one's scanned. But it wasn't fast enough, so you scanned like 4 of the same ticket.
Yeah, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? And then there was people, I know you guys have seen this. You go to the swap meet, Santa Fe Springs swap meet, my swap meet, any swap meet, and you see those guys doing those bracelets with the names. The Mexican guys, right?
Yeah.
The no names. They were doing those in the parking lot, but to look like
hilarious,
the wristband from Coachella. They were
what a good idea.
And they were getting in with that shit.
So and it's got a bunch of Girl Scouts out there fucking doing
no Mexicans, bro. Come on. It's like, and they were doing that, dude. So yeah, it was fucking crazy.
Well, dude, there was one year where after working for K-Rock, this is like sometime after, I snuck in with the under the guise of being the recycling guy. So I had the recycling logo on my T-shirts. We had the latex gloves. We had the bags. We walked up to the security guards, and they're like, all right, well, what are you doing? Get inside.
Hurry the fuck up. What are you doing? Yeah. You got inside, just ditch that. Like, get this out of here. Get this out of here.
All right, cool. Yeah, man.
It's crazy, dude. So that's our introduction to Carl for me, at least on the K-Rock end. And then after that, we've been doing this podcast for a minute, and then all of a sudden it was like I was talking to this cat. He was giving away cookies.
Yeah,
that's how we reconnected.
That's how I had grew my own cannabis. It had been like the second grow that I had done, and the second batch was much superior to the first batch. Made a bunch of cookies and hooked it with a bunch of homies, and sure enough, a lot of the homies were like, "Dude, like, what the fuck were those cookies? Like, homegrown."
Yeah,
Good
but
shit.
he gave
Love,
him away like
what's
honestly,
inside
he's like,
those
hey,
cookies?
hit me.
Love.
Yeah, he's like, hey, hit me up on Instagram, I got you. And then I was like, fuck it, I'll take some. So I went over there to his pad, and then we started talking, and went on conspiracy little fucking,
How long did it
hole.
take? Like 5 seconds? You're like, hey, Carl. He's like, let me tell you about some lizard people.
Nah, you know what? We were just rapping about like his brother, like, oh, hey, how's your brother, blah blah blah, and then he went into some of that shit, and then like it was like,
oh, I think what it was too is I had fasted for like 7 to 8 days.
Yeah,
like,
so his mind was probably running.
Yeah. I had full on like not eaten, and like it was more so just kind of just to test one's body, right?
Yeah.
Someone's discipline, and I was like, yo, you got to do this, this, and this. But then, it went on to a book that is called "You Are the Placebo" by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it kind of started a conspiracy talk because the book actually talks about like the power of the mind. People have died from cancer that never even actually had cancer, but because they have been diagnosed with cancer, the body's like, okay, well, we're shutting down. Let's shut off the immune system, and we have cancer. Autopsy reveals that there's no cancer, but what happens is because the body really manifests that fate.
I've heard of shit like that before. I would love to call bullshit on all of it, except for there's one man that makes it impossible to call bullshit on any of this, and that man's name is Wim Hof. You know what I mean? This dude, he is in a laboratory setting, with scientists going, you can't do this. Has sat and raised and lowered his temperature at will. Has made they injected him with this gnarly virus. He was like,
a neurotoxin. I think it might have been like Ebola or some fucking. Yeah,
and through meditation, sat and was like, nah, rah, and has
climbed Mount Everest.
This is what I was about to say. Has done Everest in shorts.
Yeah, pretty much in shorts.
In shorts.
That's my kind of dude. Shorts 24/7.
Right? See, talk about shooting your fucking shot. This is the mentality that you have to fucking have, right?
And the crazy thing about Wim Hof is he doesn't claim to be special. He just says, I can teach you to do this. I can teach anybody how to breathe. And it's all through breathing. It's all through. And he was like, I can teach anybody to do this. And has the Wim Hof Institute where he teaches motherfuckers how to do it. This is not. So that's the only reason. That's that one man is the reason why you can't call bullshit on any of this.
I try and practice his teachings every fucking day. So every day I try and do my hot shower, but then at the end of the shower I do his breathing practice in combination with a cold exposure, which is supposed to, trigger all these fucking anti-stress relieving fucking hormones in the body or whatever the fuck, right? So Wim Hof breath is to me the key to a lot of this shit. Before coming onto this podcast, I was in the fucking car doing my breathing techniques because that is the fucking answer. That is the key. That is how we unlock our inner strength, our fucking body, right?
Do you ever get
our
big?
mind.
My favorite, before I do stand-up, before I do anything, I get big.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Power stancing, fucking, you get big. And for whatever reason, when you, it's what animals do. Getting big like that gives you fucking power. And people, recognize that power. And I don't know why that shit works.
It's a power stance. It's a power stance. It's you literally have the fucking, you have the body flowing through the, you have everything fucking going through your body, going at 100.
Hell yeah.
And that's what they say when you come up on a bear, when you're hiking and shit, get bigger than him.
Get big.
Whoa. Depending the bear.
Well, no, don't get me wrong. If you're not outrunning him,
if you decided to fight, get big.
You better get big.
Yeah.
Because you ain't outrunning that fool. You ain't out climbing that fool.
I'm with you on that. For the most part, most animals, you want to puff yourself up and fucking.
Hey, that's the only thing you have, bro. I'm not outrunning anything, but not a bear, and I'm not out climbing anything, especially not a bear.
Yeah.
But I'm big, so I'm gonna try to get bigger.
I just know there's a certain fucking bear that you lay down for, and there's a bear that you fucking like.
Yeah.
I just can't remember which is the one at the moment.
Yeah,
so I don't want to misinform anybody.
Brown bears. I don't know which one's which.
Well, make sure to do your homework.
Do your
One's like a dog basically, and the other one's a murderer. It's basically one's a stupid dog and one's a murderer. But you don't know which one is which.
Do your due diligence and figure out which is which, because at the end of the day, it's your life that depends on it.
I'm not telling you shit. I don't want to. Johnny, see said it was brown ones. I know it was.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Rip your head off. No, but you know what is awesome that you said that shooting your shot because
man.
that shows that he listens to the show.
You know.
That's
Hell
what we do. That's what we do here, man.
You know.
And it's crazy because I had this conversation with this guy, friend of mine, and he's like, you know what, he's a musician, and he's like, you know what we do? We listen to you guys because this is our chance to fucking like be free, bro. And then like being a rock star, he's played the House of Blues. He's opened up for big bands and shit. And he told me, he's like, you know what? We're put on this earth to fucking help people, change or like music. Like if you're hurting, music can fucking make you feel better.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And like this, talking can make you feel better.
Well, okay,
So-
I have a conspiracy for that, and we'll get into it later, though.
Well, go ahead. Get into
Okay.
it now.
Well, okay. I mean, like music has a resonance with the body, right? If you think about it, what's the percentage of our weight in water? It's like 70% of it, right? Right. And so when it is that we have, it's been reported. Like look into it, like how sound affects water, right? How would we not be manipulated by a sound or a vibrational sound that can really just alter the state of our whole entire being? And so there's this individual. I believe his name is Mark Devlin, and he is a British UK DJ, and I think he like did that whole circuit in the 90s. He's the one watched like Beyonce, Jay-Z kind of explode into hip hop and all that stuff, and he has this kind of whole theory behind some artists and their producers use a certain frequency to keep people in a lower vibration, keep people in a more agitated state. People more likely to be frustrated for things that need not be frustrated, and it's like it's a whole I think it's an octave thing where it is that you have this 440 frequency that is now adopted in mainstream music, but prior to the 1930s we used a 435 frequency, and like again. Goes more deeper into a conspiracy.
Like that's when I was about to jump off right now. An alien invasion. If an alien invasion happened, there would be no war. There would be no fighting.
Yeah.
If aliens came, it would be playing some kind of,
Yeah.
or playing some kind of something at some frequency. They would just turn us all off,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
would just be like, "Bloop,"
Yeah.
and we would all fall down, and that would be the end.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but like our bodies are not complicated. Like
Yeah,
these are
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like if someone had figured out how to come through the goddamn cosmos to Earth. They know how to turn us off too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
this is not
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Like alien invasion
Yeah,
movies
yeah,
are the
yeah.
most frustrating
Yeah,
movies to me
yeah,
in
yeah.
the world because there would be no fight.
Like, yeah, right.
There would be no
Yeah,
fight.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it would be. This is one of the first jokes I wrote. That hey, you want to see the most accurate portrayal of an alien invasion movie ever? Here, I'll do it for you right now. It's over. That was it. Like,
Nah, fuck no, bro. I'm breathing, bro. I'm doing my breathing technique. Fuck you. I'm taking this shit over. Fuck that.
Wim Hof and this
I'm
shit.
fucking
Yeah, yeah,
fucking
yeah.
breathing. Oh, fuck you, aliens. Fuck you and your fucking. I'm fucking breathing.
well, like all the frequency shit. Like I'm
Yeah, yeah.
about like
Yeah.
that we are.
And it's interesting because like I was like, this sounds kind of like bullshit, right? And so of course anything that I research, I try and do my due diligence. I'm not gonna fucking first listen to the first conspiracy and be like, okay, 100% facts, Because man, I've seen some crazy shit, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, there's a frequency harmonic that's not, and I'll share with you guys after. Maybe you guys can have your own experiment with it. But every sound that I had picked, it was a series of like 8 sounds, but I think it was 4 results. And every result that I had picked, it was the 432 frequency, which is the old frequency, which creates harmony. It's the love frequency. It's something that keeps you at ease, and it's just like it makes you wonder what the fuck is the mainstream music industry doing to fucking keep everyone, in this constant state of fear, this constant state of weakness, this constant state of a lower vibration.
It's like you know me, like everything you're saying. That makes sense. And we want to shout out everyone who's listening in right now, officially inspired out there.
Dude, you got the chat fired
I
up
know.
right now.
You know what? Conspiracy Theorist does that. She said the frequency is 440 hertz versus 432
There you go.
hertz.
There you go.
brown
Yeah,
sound.
officially,
It was a really great reach, he says.
But I mean, it's a real thing, It's like, when you research conspiracies and you get into the whole thing, like you have these common names that are frequently brought up, and one of the the biggest names are that I've seen is the Rockefeller Foundation.
Yeah.
And anyone that's done any sort of conspiratorial.
That was like the first family name I ever learned.
Yeah. It's like
it still comes up.
Right, and it's like it's just a common name. But if you really look back, again, he's someone that created our educational system. Like seriously, like someone that had so much control in how we were brought up. You can look it up. Look it up right now. He's quoted that he doesn't want a nation of thinkers.
Yeah,
that he wants a nation of workers.
That's what our educational system was set up to replicate a factory day. Like that's where you go in and there's buzzers and bells and you go to lunch and come back. Like this is set and prison, but more like and but, just like prison, but also this is a work day.
So then compare the
like,
thing, right? Like you don't think you think that's by coincidence?
No, I absolutely do not.
And that's the thing because like I mean, if you haven't guessed already, I was the rebel. I didn't, conform to the normal life that is, the educational system where it is that you had to raise your hand and be waited on, and it just didn't make sense to me the whole thing.
That's why he got fired like K-Rock. He's too much of a rebel.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not listening to good shot.
Fuck you.
Yeah. It wasn't after I flipped over a Mini Coupe though.
No, because you flipped the Mini Coupe and nothing happened.
Yeah.
You weren't even supposed to reach. Dude, this guy was. I mean, I hate to go off, but
this guy what are you talking about? This sounds like an awesome story.
No, dude, this guy was fucking. We had a Mini Coupe that we used for. It was a sponsored one, and we used it on location.
Was it wrapped?
It was wrapped.
K-Rock wrapped or sponsored wrapped?
K-Rock sponsored wrap. Okay, so a little combo. And he wasn't supposed to have it. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking, where the fuck he was going, what the fuck was going on. But it was after hours.
I like your style already. Before we even get there, I love this story.
Hey, these aren't supposed to be flipped either. They're supposed to be.
Oh, really? They're not supposed to be. I thought
conspiracy theory. These weren't supposed to be flipped.
Right.
This was, I don't even know. He's taking this fucking turn onto one freeway from the other, and the fucking bitch flips, bro. Yeah. Flips the fucking. Doesn't get fired, dude. Doesn't get fired. You know what he gets fired for? Not unloading a fucking rig for the sound system from a previous. Yeah. So that to me tells me they already had his number.
Sure, they're just waiting.
I don't think they could have got him on that because they were thinking like, oh, what if we get sued? What if this happens? What if
this fool's out at work and got a car accident? We're gonna fire him?
Yeah, we can't. You know what I mean? And then they go for some cheap ass little fucking like. Oh, yeah, you know what? He didn't unload it. You're gone. Yeah. I'm like, you guys are fucking lame. The people that fired him, dude, I don't know names, bro, but you left so many fucking rigs packed, bro.
Yeah, that sounds like a girl
but you know what?
me.
Honestly, nothing but love. Nothing but love.
No, nothing but love, but I'm just like, to me, like, you know what? Yeah, that's fucking.
No, that sounds like a girl dumping me, and it's like, you cheated on me like 6 months ago, and yesterday you didn't take the laundry out of the dryer. We're breaking up. That's like, what the
fuck? Okay.
And back to sound, man. It's crazy because like at night, when I want to really relax, dude, there's this person that I follow on Facebook, a friend of mine, and you know what? She sells jewelry, okay, live on her stream, and I just put my phone down, but put her voice up, and it soothes me. Yeah. And all she's doing is talking about her jewelry, like, hey, this is $5, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know how I found it. I think I was just flipping through one night, and I heard that voice, and it just calmed me. It just had this soothing effect, you know? And all she's doing is selling fucking $5 jewelry.
My brother does shoe shines. Like listening to people, like to go to sleep. He listens to people get and just the rhythm and just the, like that. It's like, and he has like, dudes that he likes because they make the right sound because it's not the same sound that the other shoe shiners make. Like he dials into whatever. I don't know if it's the frequency but there's for sure something about this man that as opposed to somebody.
It's a rhythm, right?
As opposed to
it's a tempo that
he watches 10 shoe shiners. And one speaks to him. Like there's a fucking reason.
Wait. So do you fall asleep like listening to her? So So are you getting like brain control and fucking hypnosis to buy her shit? Like
I don't buy anything. And it's not even that. It's just I think her voice, her tone, and the way she's speaking. I think that's what it is. Because I don't buy anything.
You're an asshole. You support her by you want to steal her voice to put you to Mimi's, but you won't go buy her fucking. You won't go buy her bracelet.
I have to switch it up once in a while. Sometimes it's that one. Sometimes it's fucking. Sometimes it's like an airplane sound. I have one of those like apps where you put shit on.
Sure, listen to white noise.
And for the most part, I listen to podcasts too, and it's just something about that. But it was funny that I found her. Like I was just going through my shit, and I was like, she's talking, and I was like, oh, what are they sounding? All of a sudden, it's like, oh fuck, this is soothing, and I just put it down, and fell asleep, dude. It was fucking crazy. And I've done it multiple times when I've had a hard time to sleep. I'll be like, oh, is she on there? Or is there an old video? And I'll just fucking listen to it and shit. Yeah. I'm going to have to go buy like fucking at least $20 worth of jewelry, I guess.
Support.
Thanks for all the sleep.
Or I can fucking smoke a fat joint like Jerry Rig said. You know what I'm saying?
Jerry Rig out there in Twitter, fat joint and Bob Ross.
That'll work.
That's Twitch, not
Twitch. Sorry.
But for me, then I'm going to have to hit tacos up and I'm going to have to if I smoke a fat joint.
Sure.
We're talking about that earlier.
Mind control, baby. No, you don't do it. You say you don't want that shit.
I'm going to have to do breathing while I'm smoking.
Yeah, see?
No tacos,
You
no tacos.
are breathing while you're smoking.
You know, I've actually used the Wim Hof method while hitting a joint.
Shoot, how it's that
sometimes
like?
it
So
gets
it's
you
like,
like-
here's getting high and fucking. I would like to use Wim Hof breathing technique. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just to get centered and fucking
Yeah. Oh yeah.
be there.
I mean, there's another conspiracy story.
Oh,
where
no.
You're right. Sex. Right. I think that porn is weaponized. Right. And I think that we have the misconception that as males that we need to. Sorry, boys. I'm gonna say it, but we have to fucking come each time that we have sex.
Yeah.
I think that actually that sperm retention is like something that everyone needs to do some research on. I mean, it's a thing that fighters talk about, but to me, in my own personal experience, when I've done it, I'm more centered, I'm more focused. You know, if you really think about the whole, like the concept of what happens when it is that, a kid is born, a fertilized seed becomes a fetus, right? You have the sperm that is the life, right? Don't get me wrong, ladies. They have a big
That
part.
shit's just an egg.
No, but
It wasn't alive.
but I mean with our powers combined,
Yeah.
we come when we come, we fucking knock the fuck out.
Give it up a lot.
Right? We knock the fuck out, and we come back and we're like, what's that? Give me some water. You come back to exactly. You have to come back and you're depleted. It's like it's your lifeblood, right? I think that again, it's all fucking a conspiracy. It's all connected. Where the media perpetrates this sexualized fucking agenda, where it is that all of our media that we consume, whether it's the shows that we watch, the movies, the music, it's all controlled, by a single entity.
And it's like that feeling of depletion. Like it sounds stupid. It makes sense to keep people fucking depleted. To not be running at 100%, to not have your fucking full force. You know what I mean? To not, and I do know that when I was in Peru, the longest I've ever gone as an adult is 17 days without coming. And then I had a wet dream. At 17 days, I had a wet dream because when you go down to do ayahuasca, they tell you no jacking off, no try to keep keep your diet right, keep your keep all that shit right. So no jacking off, and then I was hanging out with my beautiful my jungle love French girlfriend Melanie, and we made out, and we were not supposed to have sex. They told us. Do not, because you're not supposed to have sex because of ayahuasca babies. Yeah. Because
ayahuasca babies.
They're talking about you're dealing with serious shit. You think ayahuasca can't beat birth control? You think like the powers that you're dealing with can't get past your stupid little pill? Which is also, I think they just tell you because they don't want people boning. But also, like I don't want to test the powers of that shit. You know what I mean?
I don't want to be the.
So. We just made out a little bit. We just just enough to
little dry hump.
No, you know what? We were trying. I'm not trying to ignite the situation. I'm trying to keep it cool. You know?
No, you're rubbing it out, not igniting it.
Well, I'm talking about with her. So
you're trying to make a move, but you're not trying to fucking.
We were making plans to see each other after we left. Like we have to get together after this. So we make out, and then I go back to where I'm supposed to be, and I wake up the next morning. And I was sleeping I'm in love, and I had and it wasn't even about her, but I had a fucking gnarly wet dream, and I woke up and I was like,
does that still count?
Again. Of course that still counts, but it's just I found out eventually when you're around fine ass French girls and you haven't come for 2 weeks, you're gonna
But here's the thing though. I think what happens again, it's the power of the mind, right? If you have the mindset where you're like, you're not gonna fuck, but you're like, oh man, I'm trying And I think that your body is like, yeah, it's cool to worry about it. I got you. You just I got you. You just do you, and it's all good.
But I know, but that during that time, that couple weeks where I was like, I did feel. I mean, also I'm in the fucking jungle. We're doing Iowa. All that stuff is also true. But I felt different physically, from not watching porn and not jacking off, and not jacking off 2 or 3 times a day, like not like fucking. So.
Yeah, man, it's like
keep your powers.
Yeah,
your powers, man.
I don't think that it's a coincidence. I think that there is like a thwarted effort in like putting sex in your face like every waking moment of the day if they have that opportunity. And now that we have our phones on us, like why not?
It's there.
It's there
24/7.
Yeah, why not?
And it's so like they do like the little rat when they talk about drug addicts and how like people are gonna do drugs no matter what, and they put like rats in a cage and they're like, all right, here's all the cocaine you want, and put these rats in there, and it's like, you know what? And they do it until they die, and that's true if there's no other stimulus around. Yeah. You know what I mean? If there's nothing else to do, the rats do drugs, and they fucking go. If there's other shit to do, the rats don't do drugs. They do the other fun things there are to do, and that's like a lot with sex with us. Like it's like if there's other things we got going on in life, then it's like we're doing that, but we don't have those things. It's like, fuck, and I start thinking about fucking all the time, and whether I am or whether I'm not, and how much I need, and how much I don't need.
Well, hey, Wapo the rat would fucking do all the cocaine. You know what I'm saying? That fool would do all. Oh of
yeah,
it.
Yeah, for sure. Yes,
fuck the other stimulants.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was last week's guest, right?
Hell yeah. We'll
shout out. Yeah, he had a pretty good barba.
Yeah, when we, you got to bring up cocaine, you got to suck out.
And I was like, all right, tight.
All right, this is the only thing I have. The only subject I have something to add to, so I'm trying to get there. Let's go to aliens. I'm ready to talk about some fucking aliens,
yeah.
And I would like to know,
like the Mexican kind.
Like no, not
the legals.
No person is illegal.
Oh.
Fucking,
this is
not right now. Shit, everyone's coming in.
Well, I mean, in theory, though, the whole borders thing, it's like really. Like,
just created.
I understand, but still, it's all created. Why is it that when we're born on this side that we're allowed to this and that?
And we've talked about this, man. Yeah. Like you're lucky you were born on this side, and those borders are crazy. Like even like the Mexican, like Mexicans hate, like for the most part, not everybody, hate like South Americans. You just. Because someone drew a line there?
Like, fools, you're the same people.
Yeah,
the same people. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, this is crazy.
When I moved to Minnesota, and I was at the DMV. So I moved to Minnesota in 2010, and I go to the DMV, and I'm sitting there, and I'm looking around at all the Mexicans, and because there's supposed to be no Mexicans in Minnesota, and I'm looking around, I'm like, I thought there was no Mexicans here, and then I looked, and I was like, oh shit, these are natives. These are not Mexicans, but it's the same motherfuckers. I was like, these are the same dudes.
Hell yeah.
I was like, you're telling me.
They just haven't been on this side.
They were just up here. Like, these are just farther away from Mexico. But these are the same. If you ever seen a Mexican and you seen a native, it's like the meme of Spider-Man looking at each other. It's like, these are the same motherfuckers right here. What are you talking about?
But little tiny green men in flying saucers, right? That's the conversation at hand. You tell me. I mean, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Do you have any sort of alien-like experiences seeing flying saucers?
I've seen some shit. I've seen things in the sky.
Well, you tell me. All right.
So here's the Greys. This is my only thing. This is not my idea, but when it was told me, I was like, holy fuck! Like that makes total sense. So our space exploration, us as Earthlings, us doing our thing. When we went to the moon, we didn't go to the moon first. We sent a fucking thing to the moon to go look. When we're going to Mars right now, we didn't go to Mars. We sent like a little rover and a little helicopter thing to Mars. We sent off. So if you're an alien, it's so egotistical to think that they would come. Like, why wouldn't they send a thing? Like we send things instead of going, so they would send things. So that's why you see these little gray aliens that said they have no mouth, they don't have any sex organs. Like it's just that's because these aren't built. These are not things. These aren't beings.
They're avatars.
These are AI, these are avatars, these are whatever that the actual thing sent here. Like these aren't the things. These are the things that the thing sent, and that's why they look like they look. That's what because they're like in the spaceship. There's no bathrooms. There's no fucking. It's like yeah, but there's not. These are not. These are robots. These are like meat. These are meat robots that some other entity has sent here. You know.
You know.
My thing, bro. When I was.
I think we went to the moon.
I don't think we did. My boys, me and my boy Sergio were driving in his Mustang one time. I can't remember what freeway it was, but it was way the fuck out somewhere. And this sphere was on the right side of the fucking freeway. And it fucking jumped the fucking freeway and then passed us.
So this is like eye level of the vehicle. It's not like in the sky. It's more
we're
so
driving
like...
toward this, and there's a sphere ball, but it's like a light.
Now, if you had to guess how big the light was and how far away,
I couldn't tell because.
Just give me a guesstimation. You know.
Maybe like 100 yards, maybe 200 yards away. And it was a ball that was in the air, and then it jumped the freeway and then just fucking like flashed right by us.
And this ball of light was not bigger than the vehicle that you were in, right? It was smaller.
It felt smaller.
Okay.
And then I didn't say shit. He didn't say shit. We just fucking kept driving. Like no one said nothing, bro. We just kept fucking driving. And I really haven't even told the story till today. Okay. But it was like, yeah, dude, it was this fat. It's like, oh. And like, how do you start the conversation? It was just like, fuck it, I'm tired, dude. Just keep driving. I don't even know. I don't know what the fuck to do, bro. Like,
this is too long of a fucking drag out.
Now we're not going to start this because there's no way we're going to finish it. So let's not even bother.
Yeah, and it was crazy, dude.
All right, interesting. Mario, you said that you had some sort of...
Yeah, I've shared this story before, so you guys can always look it up on Pigs Radio. We did a conspiracy. Actually, we had recently we had the Hazy Chaos, and they do scary stories, and this is what kind of started up conspiracies. And we did one episode with them, and then we got contacted by Flat Earth Dave Weiss,
nice.
And that kind of started some stuff. So
I know Dave. I don't know him personally, but I know of Dave.
Yeah, that was interesting, man. And we're still getting hits to this day on that episode. Nice. So I know people like this conspiracy stuff, but I forgot where we were driving. Well, actually, a couple different times this has happened. Once I remember it was at the beach, hanging out, nighttime, just looking up at the stars. I was enjoying some company, and then all of a sudden you see this light, like, oh shit, cool, shooting star, and then you see the shooting star do. It starts going up and down. I'm like, that's not a shooting star. Shooting star goes straight. And then I see the thing go. And I'm like, holy fuck, I just saw a goddamn alien. Like, I'm about to get anal probe because I saw some shit. Like, I don't know. Like, and it was fucking weird. And I've seen that like maybe 2 or 3 times in my lifetime. And I think once we were in Ensenada. That was like many fucking years ago. And we were by the Bufadora. And when you get there, they let you know.
I've been to Bufadora.
Hell yeah.
They let
the hole in the center of the earth.
They let you know that witchcraft is strong there. Brujeria. And when you
at the
go,
Bufadora?
no, like in that area of like Ensenada and shit. Like a lot of people practice shit
They
out
never
there.
told me that.
Yeah, man, I used to go and hang out all the time, dude.
So it was weird when we were out there. Like you felt like some weird, like little vibe, like
You felt an energy, a vibe,
little something, yeah. So I don't know, fucking aliens, dude. By the way, if anyone out there needs to call in with your, if you've been anally probed, or if you want to talk about some conspiracy shit, you guys can call in. The number's right on the screen, or if you're listening, 909-475-7449. 909-475-7449.
What's Cash Landrum?
What's Cash Landrum?
Talk about the Cash Landrum incident.
That's my boy, Big Mario. What's up?
Do you know what that is?
No, I'm not aware of the Cash Landrum.
So, now we talked about aliens. You tell me.
All right.
Do you think they're from this dimension?
I mean, to be honest, aliens has always been something that I've been fascinated since I was a kid. My dad and I had always been interested in the topic, the fact that are we alone? Are we this rock that is flying, hurling through space at what would you say it was like over 44,000?
77,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, all the while orbiting and rotating the sun, and and to me it was like it's fascinating. Are we alone? The X-Files, any one of those movies. Growing up as a kid, I think it was like the movie Evolution. Have you guys seen it with Sean William Scott? Like all the different versions of what aliens could be, and I feel like when it is that you invest your time, you invest your energy, whenever it is. Some good old, was it Unsolved Mysteries? But when it is that you kind of put your time and energy, your thought, like as the simulation theory kind of continues, when you put that thought, when you put that energy, you attract that. And I think for a good portion of I think it was sometime in 2015. I felt like I was like super into the whole, ET contact. I think there's an individual, Dr. Stephen Greer, and he has this contact app. I think it's called CE5, and it's supposed to be Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. And it's not necessarily this physical contact that everyone is supposed to perceive. It's this, emotional. It's this energy. It's this kind of telepathic wave that you put out there. And so. Do your due diligence. Look into Dr. Stephen Greer. There's a movie, I think it's called Unaccounted or Unacknowledged. Unacknowledged is what it is, and it's an interesting perspective in what I really think aliens are, and it's not necessarily these little tiny green men flying in saucers. I think that is documented, but it's not necessarily real. I think that we're in this day and age of misinformation, and I feel like. The propaganda that we have been given that is now being promoted like wildly on our mainstream media. The Pentagon now admits that there is these UFOs that exist. I think it's fucking bullshit. I think anything that we're going to get from this mainstream narrative is something that is really happening, and they're putting their twist. It's their narrative.
The Pope came out too, remember? The Pope came out and said that they were real.
And that's the thing, don't get me started in the fucking Vatican.
I'm just saying about trying to give it like
exactly. They hype it up. They hype it up. That's the thing. Like these guys are all in it together. The Pentagon, the government, the Vatican, like all these big, the royals, these big families, these big conglomerates, these heavy hitters. They're all going to start speaking this same propaganda because that's something that they're going to push is some potential. Hey, you need the government to protect you from this alien threat. There's different perspectives on what UFOs are or aliens. I think that one interesting conspiracy to kind of like look into is Project Bluebeam. And it pretty much is projections. It's pretty much projecting an image in the sky that would appear to be somewhat of an alien invasion or an alien threat or some sort of, not even necessarily a threat, but just more so an appearance so that we start to experience more of these, encounters because they want to push a narrative of this potential alien threat. Have you guys seen the movie The Watchmen?
Yes.
Dude, it was just that same theory right now was just on the last Spider-Man.
Sure.
Thank you. Oh, my God, thank you. Because I actually was going to reference that. And again,
that's what I was thinking. I was like, this is like Spider-Man
I just watched
Far From Home.
Okay. If you're paying attention and you're really, and here's the thing, we're in this day and age where because the internet is so powerful, there's information that is, yes, there's a lot of disinformation that is correct, and you have to be able to decipher what is and what isn't fucking bullshit. And first, actually, let me suggest, get off of Google, get off of all this mainstream fucking. Use DuckDuckGo. Use
DuckDuckGo, man. It sucks. I try it. It's so bad, but I use it.
But the thing is, I to me, it's like I feel like the stuff that I have been able to. It's not necessarily the most Of course, you're not going to have in comparison to Google, but you of course.
Because it doesn't keep your information. It doesn't do all that. It can't. That it just goes to show that it's. To do that kind of search engine is impossible without taking all of your information, without digging in your brains. Yeah. It's impossible to have.
But that's the thing. Okay, I think okay, that's how we save ourselves at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, right? We talk about shooting your shot, right? You talk about being the best, being you, but the only way you can do that is if you know what the fuck is up. You can only be the best you if you know of the rules of the game. Right, if you're this newbie player, and you have not been introduced to the name of the game. You're gonna sit there and watch everyone fucking dunk on your ass. You're gonna be the fucking guy that's oh shit.
You think you're doing it, and you have no idea what the game
is. You're gonna get schooled because there's people that have been in the game longer than you, and they're fucking just
someone explained the rules to them. No one told you the rules for shit. All the people playing this shit, you don't even know what the game is.
So the thing is talking about conspiracy theories, like you got to give. I think you actually talked about it in the not the last episode that you guys did, but the one before. I think it was the Wizards and Mushrooms episode, where you guys talked about. I think it was Mike Rupert that did the Crossing the
Mike Rupert, yeah.
And he was influenced by Bill Cooper. If anyone that has really done any sort of conspiratorial rabbit hole, like these are some of the names that pop up because these guys are some of the whistleblowers and martyrs that have put their lives on the line to speak about some real shit that we've all been affected by.
Yeah. And
so, Bill Cooper, I think he wrote this book called The Pale Blue Horse. And he pretty much just, he goes in detail as to, like, what this alien, like, he goes into the Illuminati, he goes into world governments, and he goes into aliens. He goes into detail as to he is this naval intelligence, and he's been in the game for a minute, and, he's, everything that he's researched, he's done his due diligence. Some of the stuff that he does say sounds pretty quackish. He's really, really big on this whole like Luciferian cult that runs the world, which I don't think that that's necessarily crazy. I think that's true, but I think in how he puts the whole thing in perspective, kind of puts him in this what appears to be a quack. But I think his message is important. His message is important because it's like he warned everyone of like all of these potential 9/11 and, something that we're going through today. Like for someone to put his ass on the line, talk about some real shit, and, at the end of the day, get killed for it, we got to pay attention to these, to these whistleblowers.
Well, it was a delivery, bro. You know what I'm saying? His delivery. That fool went to journal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to, like, work on that shit. Because if you go too crazy, people be like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, they don't take you serious, man.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta not necessarily dumb it down, but you gotta bring it down in a manner where
I don't think you need to dumb it down. I think it does have to be in bite-sized chunks.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's
it can't be. You can't present somebody, hey, you know what? Your entire worldview, and not just the way you see the world, the way you interpret that's all wrong. And like, we're going to have to deconstruct this whole thing and build you back from the beginning. Like, you can't do that to people. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, one, that's not going to work. And two, you're going to break people's minds. Like, if someone was like, I'm with you. Like, you broke them. Like, you broke them. Like, if you're like, okay, here's everything. It's like, all right, well, cool, my brain just exploded, and I don't remember my name. So, like, I don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah. But
too much info.
But going back to the question of, like, what I think, like, aliens and UFOs are, well, I think that a lot of the propaganda that we have been fed, once again, now being brought to light by, our own government, the Pentagon, saying that these crafts are not from. You have the Tic Tac videos, but I think it was Officer Fravor, I think, or pilot, that pilot that I talked about. I think that these vehicles are man-made. I think that they have been for quite some time, not necessarily overseeing, but kind of like, just watching how shit goes, kind of like letting themselves known. They have had, it's my understanding from I think it's like past, you have like naval and bases that have nuclear weapons, where they talked about where UFOs have they shut them down, right? And if it is that they wanted to fly over you and like not know that they were there, you wouldn't be there. So all this stuff that we have seen is because they want us to see it, right? If they want us to kind of talk about it, they want us to form this idea behind it. And I do think that there is this idea, or no, sorry, this propaganda, this agenda that's going to be pushed, that like these UFOs can be potentially a threat, and we need Big Daddy government to protect us.
I mean, Space Force, right? That's the real thing?
That's a new thing, yeah.
Right.
Look at I
Space Force.
If there was aliens and they were coming here, I agree that we need someone's protection, but I also know that there's no one that's going to be able to give it to us here. Like, if these fools decide to come fuck us up, we're fucked up. Like, it's over.
No, don't you just give him the flu? Isn't that the movie with
Look at that War of the Worlds?
Give him the
the
shot.
dumbest movie fucking. Oh, they didn't know about bacteria. These fools are so smart. These are the ultra intelligent beings who have come from millions of light years, have bent space time to wind up here, and then they were like, what's up with the what? Something doesn't taste right about this water. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here. That's why I hate all alien invasion movies. There's not one good one that was even the second V.
The first original.
Okay, look at
original V.
Wait, which one's V?
With the V, the one
where
with
the lizard people came with the human skin.
Oh, I haven't seen this one.
It's old school.
It's an 80s show that was awesome. My mom used to watch it all the time.
Hell yeah.
And then the new one that they tried to do, the only thing that was good about the new one was the leader in V was hot as fuck. She was the chick who plays Deadpool's girlfriend in Deadpool. She was the leader of the aliens.
Because the original one was hot as hell too.
Yes. Well, they look it. If lizard aliens know anything, it's that the way to communicate with human beings is to be a hot ass broad. That's how they fucking do it. Look at that's. If aliens really wanted to take over,
of course,
they would just send a ship full of naked chicks, and they would get over there and like, all right, so these are the leaders now, right? Like, we listen to whatever these people have to say, right? Like, get out of here.
So you're saying that all like hot women are reptilians?
Yeah,
because they're potentially shape shifting, so they're going to shape shift.
You can argue. I would be willing to have that discussion for sure.
All right,
okay, so what do you think about then us going to the moon?
I mean, So as I mentioned, as a kid growing up, I was like fascinated by aliens and in the whole. I mean, I grew up watching Star Wars, and I wasn't necessarily a Trekkie, but I dabbled.
The philosophy of Star Trek.
Yeah, but now that I kind of like, I'm what I'm perceiving now. What I know of space is bullshit. From like the lunar landing to our visits to Mars, like anything that NASA has said, because the person that started NASA was a fucking Nazi.
Here's my thing with it, bro. How can we take this fucking vehicle, I would call it a vehicle, rocket, whatever, and it lands so majestically on the moon, okay? And when it takes off from the moon, it lands here in the fucking ocean because he can't land cool here. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it has to be thrown in the fucking water in the Pacific, some bullshit. But over there, like, it landed nice and easy on this fucking earth, on this rock that we don't know what the fuck it is.
Gravity, Steve, gravity.
No, but you know what I'm saying, though?
No,
like,
yeah.
if you're that fucking intelligent, you can send these motherfuckers up there, fucking land it really cool, take off, and then fucking here, it's like, oh, just throw it in the ocean.
But here's my 2 cents. So I always thought that the lunar landing was bullshit because, like, I felt like that they couldn't reveal what space was really like to us. Like if you you look at our lunar landing, you look at the Russian lunar landing, look into it. It's fucking bullshit. It's like seriously the shittiest fucking bullshit that you've ever seen. Where it's like it kind of throws you back where like people really ate this shit up, And look, I'm not saying that space is completely fake. I'm just saying that what we know of space doesn't make sense. Like, I know that we've been taught this, so then because we've been taught this, we've been indoctrinated into believing this, so then we don't question it. It just all makes sense to us in our head. This is not our organic ideas. Like, think about programming. I'm going to get a little bit of a sidetrack here, but like think about when you wake up. When you wake up, you like, all right, come do this, and this. But the second you pull up your phone and you pull up IG, now you start getting flooded with all these other thoughts that are not yours. It's the same thing with our education. And we are putting our trust into the system that I feel like that hasn't worked for us for a real long time. Let's just talk about just the educational system. But you put your trust in this system that teaches you everything about the world around you. And so, like, you put this blind obedience as to everything that you see about space is to be true. There is a lot of discrepancies. All I say is this. I'm not saying that the world is flat or the space is fake. I'm just saying that look at all this stuff that we've been presented to by NASA, from like all the imagery of how Earth looks in space, like throughout the 90s, throughout the 2000s. Look side by side. Look at the discrepancies of the continents, how one continent looks larger than the other in another picture, how there is what appears to be what looks like bubbles in space. I'm just saying that NASA's budget is $55 million a day. It took Gravity and Interstellar $1 million to make. So that means that just 2 days of our taxpayers could produce something that is comparable to Interstellar. Look at Stanley Kubrick. You know, I really feel like because this is all kind of interconnected, you have a lot of this stuff that's put in front of you, but you don't bat an eye because you see it on TV, you see it in a movie, so therefore it must be fake. It's just a fabrication of one's imagination. But yeah, just look into like what they are telling us about UFOs and aliens, because it's just, you know, a few years ago, you talk to anyone about aliens and you're a fucking whack job conspiracy theorist. You know, it's just
now all of a sudden everyone believes.
Now
in
it's
this
cool.
shit.
Now it's the coolest thing. Now it's like,
so
oh, watch
crazy
Star Wars.
Well, wasn't that a thing with Tom DeLonge too? Like that's why he's not in Blinken anymore, because now he's like an alien fucking hunter.
So
Yeah.
so okay. So peep it. So there's this individual. I think his name is Brian Bloodstow, and he is one of the individuals that's to kind of, I would say, you know, has persuade me into thinking that what we know of aliens is not necessarily true. I'm thinking now of it as more of an interdimensional thing.
That's I was getting to interdimensions for sure.
You know, and I know talked in past shows, you know, Johnny's had his experiences with psychedelics, and you know, I really feel that psychedelics transcends to that spiritual realm that is interdimensional, and you know.
But look, can't that just be you getting high and fucking
No.
thinking? Hold on.
No, sorry.
I'm just saying, like, can it just be you getting high and your mind coming up with this shit? You know what I'm saying?
That's everything in life is your mind coming up with.
No, but you know what I'm saying? But like, because I sort of believe in the fucking, you know, like. Well,
here's the thing. Here's what I can tell you. I can show you. I know the door to another dimension, and I can take you to it. You know, that's the difference between all religion and all this shit. Oh, you have to believe. I don't need you to believe shit. I just need you to come with me.
Yeah.
And I'll show you. You don't need to believe anything I say.
I'll pack my bags.
You know, like, come with me. Let's go to Peru. And fucking, and then he was like, oh shit, like
I'm down.
Because like I really, if it was as wild as it is, the way it's already presented. If you told people, you're like, look, man, what you're gonna do? You drink like this cup of sludge, but what it really is a ticket to another dimension. And you drink this shit, and you close your eyes, and you go to another dimension.
Yeah.
Like another fucking dimension. And it's as real as if I walked out that door and I'm like, yo, there's a backyard out there. You guys are not gonna believe there's a yard and rabbits and dogs. You guys be like, oh, shit, I've never seen any yard with rabbits and dogs.
Okay,
Like,
but can we get there without the sludge?
Can you get to the bottom of the ocean without a submarine?
I'm just saying, like,
I think you can get there without.
Well, there's people
that.
that do it with transcendental meditation.
Breathe.
There's people
Exactly.
breathe,
Thank
bro.
you, Mario.
I'm just asking questions, bro.
runners highs and all the rest of that stuff. There's people that get there without.
I do think that you know, through the power of breath, that you can put yourself in these like super psychedelic states, because your body produces one of the most potent psychedelics in the world, DMT. You know?
Wow, dude, one time I was listening to Coast to Coast, one of my favorite shows, but, you know, Coast to Coast, and he had a guy on there that was saying that you can go to different dimensions and meet the guy. Like, you can meet yourself there. Like, let's say in another dimension, I'm a fucking dope-ass pianist.
Sure.
Okay? And I can go there and get
Hey,
his
your
vibration.
penis is dope in this dimension.
No, pianist. Or,
okay.
Or a guitar player. Let me make it easier. Hey, thank you for that, though, by the way. Ladies, it is. Anyway, so that's why they call me Super Steve. Here we go. So now, if you're playing a guitar in another dimension, like fucking badass, you can go there and you can get the vibration and bring it back here, and you can automatically play. That's what he was saying. So he started doing this. Like, goes, everyone like start doing this shit. Okay, so he's like counting down and having you meditate, and I was doing it. And that was my first out of body experience, dude.
And you did it.
You
did it
actually
easy,
had an
right?
out of body experience.
Yeah,
And
it
you
was
did it
crazy.
easy.
That was my second out of body experience.
What was the first one?
Well, let me finish this real quick.
sorry.
So I was doing it, and then I was out of my body, and I heard someone yell my name. And so it took me out of the trance, and I walked around. Nobody was home, dude. And I was like, where the fuck that guy? And I tried to get back in it, and it was gone. You know what I mean? My first out of body experience, I was at a Tom Petty concert.
Oh, shit.
And I smoked some shit.
Hey,
Okay.
I was with you.
No, this is a different one.
06?
No, this is
okay.
this is the Wildflower tour, I think. So I go with this chick that I wasn't even at K-Rock yet. It was way before that. I'm a huge Tom Petty fan. So I go to the concert. We fucking sitting in this box, and she's this girl that I was hanging out with. She gave me some joints, and we fucking smoked. And we got fucking high as fuck. And then Tom Petty starts singing Gloria, and he starts off in the beginning. He's like, "Hey, I know this girl, and she smells like weed." And I'm like, "Motherfucker, I know her."
I know a girl smells like weed, too.
Dude, but at one point, I'm there by myself, dude, and there's this fucking no one's there but me and Tom, dude. That is it for this song, Gloria.
Nice.
And it was crazy because I told my boy that, and he went, and my boy Jason Bermudez, he went and found the recording of that show. And I was like, you know what, dude? You can't give it to me.
I don't want to hear it.
Because it's not going to be the same. It's not going to make me float.
Yeah.
And I swore to God that I always wanted to write Tom Petty. Whether he got the fucking letter or not, I always wanted to write him
just
that.
to write it out.
And be like, look, I don't know if your intention was ever to make anyone fucking feel this crazy, but that day I felt this crazy. And he passed away before I was ever had the chance, man. But I always wanted to let him know because as a rock star, I'm not a rock star, but I've always wanted to be one. I was like, you know what? I think that's what you want your audience to feel.
Sure.
That fucking just like we said, music, right? And it just make you feel just so fucking like nothing's there but me and you. And I felt that, and I swear, man, Tom Petty, I know if you're a ghost hanging out, you're probably hanging out here with us today.
If you're in the dimensions.
Yeah, interdimensions, man. I'm gonna have to contact my interdimension where you're still alive and have that Steve fucking send you that note because it was fucking dope, dude. It was fucking dope.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't ever have that.
So that's
I'd like to
two.
be out of my body.
But it was crazy.
You ever
know
had a lucid dream?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can do it. I've only done it one time.
Yeah.
I've done it one time. And I want to do it.
Well, I mean, okay, so it's my understanding that there's tricks to the trade, right? So,
Yeah.
The knocking trick. The only one that I know is walking through doorways and knocking.
To
look at your hands.
Look at your hands,
Yeah.
and if you can control your hands from not becoming anything, you can figure that you're in your dream.
Yeah. So
Wait, what?
It's my understanding that there's things that you can do. So like before you fall asleep, like you look at your face and you look at every detail, and you kind of admire yourself, right? What it is just it's. I think what it all boils down to, where our powers come from, is fucking love. Right, so the conspiracy that reptilian things exist, we have a reptilian mechanism in our brain, and so when we act on fear and hate, that is that reptilian part of us, right? Is it shape-shifting overlords? I don't think so. But hey, you know what? But crazier shit has happened.
Tomato, potato. Also, these are the same things. You know what I mean? Like,
I've done that before, though. You dream, and you're supposed to be able to control. So, like, if something's chasing you in your dream, you could literally, if you had control, turn around and let's say it's a rabid dog, and be like, "What the fuck do you want?
doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?" And he'll talk to you and be like, "Motherfucker, these motherfuckers are after you.
Yeah,
I'm represent them."
Yeah.
And I've had it where I was dreaming, and this is the stupid thing. I was talking to this one chick. I'm like, "Hey, let's meet up in our dreams." You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
And I just tell her like shit like that. I go, "I'll meet you at this fucking," but see, it's also you putting it in her mind.
Yeah, of course.
I was like, "Hey, I'll meet you at the bench." Blah 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 blah. And she's like, "Fuck." And then she texted me one day, "Hey, when are we meeting at the bench?" I was like, "Fuck yeah."
I mean, like you know,
Suavecito.
going back to where our power comes from. It comes from love. So when it is that we try to induce these lucid dreams, we look at our hands, we examine our hands, right? We before going to bed, we really kind of analyze who we are, so that when we go into this dream, we see the dream version of ourselves, and we know that this dream version is different because there's discrepancies, there's imperfections, and so that's how you can know who this dream self is. And once you know who that is, okay, cool. Remember, this vessel is fucking powerful, right?
Dude, the most powerful.
You know?
Yeah.
And again, I think the overall thing is a distraction, right? They try and take away our power by programming what we see. So when we see it, we believe it, so that we project it. It becomes our reality. And so, going back to lucid dreaming, and kind of having that power of control, where when you dream your dreams, you kind of, in essence, have that kind of power to like create your reality.
Sure.
When you have your lucid dreams and you kind of like, all right, this is how I want things to like line up, this is how I want things to go, then you kind of orchestrate and you practice what's going to happen in your real life. And so when you jump into this real life simulation, it's like you're fucking Neo. You're just like.
That's the only time I was in Thailand, and I quit smoking because smoking weed kills my dreams. I don't remember any of my dreams when I'm fucking smoking weed. Mm-hmm. So I'd been in Thailand for like a month, so I was off weed that whole fucking time, and I remember having a dream, and so I'm doing whatever like regular life bullshit like here in the States, and I was in my dream. I remember going, I'm in Thailand. Like what am I like? I'm not at home. I'm in Thailand, and I was like, if I'm in Thailand, that means I'm dreaming. And if I'm dreaming and I just ran and took off, I started flying around and it was awesome.
Yeah,
and I fucking controlled all the shit in the dream. Yeah. And then I woke up and I've never been able to do it again. Yeah. But it was fucking wild.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, like,
so I'm telling you guys out there, man, you gotta fucking control your dreams, control your life. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Shoot your shot in your dream and shoot
no
it
negative
in
self-talk.
Yeah.
No negative
Stop running.
self-talk. Listen to what I'm telling you right now. If I can give you anything, one gift in life, it will be the gift of eliminating negative self-talk. Like, would you allow anybody to speak to you the way you speak to yourself? Would you allow anybody else to talk to you the way you talk to yourself in the mirror or talk to yourself when you're laying in bed at night? Fuck no, you wouldn't. You would beat that fool's ass if they talked to you about how you talk about yourself. So that is eliminated today. Yeah. That's it. No more negative self-talk. Let the rest of the world talk shit about you. You talk good about you, because I fucking love you, and you're bad as fuck.
Woo! Get that shit. There you go. Oscar out there says diamond hands.
Yeah, man. Doing it.
All right, now I'm fired up. You
aren't who you were yesterday, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be the new you today and every day. Wake up as a new person, man. You who you were yesterday, who gives a fuck who you were yesterday? You failed yesterday, who gives a fuck what you did yesterday? Today is now, man. Make that shit work.
Yep. Yeah. The Matrix is.
And I love this guy for bringing up that love word, man.
Dude,
that's the true power. That's a true fucking power, because like if you're scared and if you're in fear, you can't fucking love. And if you can't love, you can't form new memories. You can't form bonds. Like you're in this defense state.
What's the one thing, man? Even when your mom got sick, like that love is what you made. You know what I mean? I don't have my mom, but like that love is like unreal. That her love is unreal. So if we can all create within ourselves, within our fucking groups, within our friends, within our communities, that same love that a mother creates for her child, how much better would we fucking be?
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Create that love between your friends. The same way, why are you afraid to give that same love to your buddy and to your lady or to your kids that maybe your kids
like there's too much. Like there's not enough love to go around.
Yeah.
There's more than enough.
Fuck yeah. I'm so glad you fucking brought that love, man.
Of course.
Fucking made me feel good.
Most important word.
Yeah, it's like that's like again that's the true power,
And that's what we need, America motherfuckers out there. Everyone fucking complaining and crying and fucking talking shit on each other because you're Republican, I'm this, I'm that. I did this, I don't like that. Fuck, just love, bro. Love. Because all you motherfuckers, all you do is preach about, I want to be fucking nice and I want to love. Well, start fucking loving. Start fucking loving.
Yeah, it's all about love. There is like one thing that I want to like acknowledge before we close up tonight is this individual name. I think his name is Daryl Davis, and he is a African American jazz player.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think he was featured on the Joe Rogan podcast, and what this individual did was he converted, as a black man, he converted upward to 200 KKK members.
This will takes robes, man.
Right. Takes robes.
They give him like Grand Wizard robes.
Yeah, that's a robe collection.
How's that possible? How's that possible?
Love.
Through love, right? That's what it is.
Because you're showing someone that thinks he's your enemy something he's never had.
Yeah.
That's why he became. That's why those guys become those guys because they don't have love.
Exactly. It's an absence of love.
And then this guy.
This individual like through love is able to, like take whatever fucking bullshit that he was spewed at him in the beginning, because he knows that this person speaking to him is speaking to a point of ignorance.
Yeah.
And hey, you know what? Ignorance is not necessarily a bad word. What the word means is without education. And so let's educate our ignorant friends. Educate our ignorant. Educate yourself, yes, first and foremost. But the thing is, I think like we're in this day and age where we need to help educate others.
Yeah.
And not any one person is our responsibility, but I think that we have this responsibility to ourselves. That if we want to leave this world a better place and filled with love, take that moment to talk to that person that is what you may consider them to be ignorant. And again, it's not a bad word. It's not, it comes from a point of ignorance. Let's educate these people and inform them and let them know, like, hey, you know what? Like, the world around you isn't what you think it is. And like, I think conspiracies actually like open the door to that. Yeah, if we close down, if we like become closed-minded and just accept what mainstream media has thrown at us, like, this term conspiracy theorist was invented by the CIA to discredit like all these potential truths.
Yeah.
Real shit.
You know what I want? I want other dimensions to come to this dimension for love. Like I was talking about earlier, like, hey, you have to go to that dimension for that. I want those other dimensions to come to this dimension because we got so much love, bro. And your other being from another dimension has to come here to get your shit.
Yeah.
But
that's what they gotta do.
But what if their dimensions have billions way more than what we got?
What I'm telling you is that you need to create that love. So we are so loved, bro, that they come here for
like we have to make the United States of America of love, and then all the Mexicans and South Americans want to come to the dimensions. They're coming here. They're coming here for our love. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, man.
Illegal. They're illegal coming to our dimension.
It's illegal love.
There's
nothing better than illegal love, bro.
Illegal love? Get out of here.
I've paid for that shit before. No, I haven't. I've never paid for love.
Well, we've been bouncing around with all kinds of theories, and the most recent one, and I'm actually being affected by it, is this whole vaccination shit. So I'm kind of curious. Now, I'm being told right now that I can't go on a boat unless I get fucking a shot.
Man, hey, I'd rather not talk about this stuff. I don't want to get flagged, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You can't even say vaccinated?
Nah, you can't even say any of that stuff, bro. Because that's the thing, though, bro. Because it's so, like, triggered, you know what I'm saying? Because no one educates themselves, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I think that here's the thing, like, and I mean this in no disrespect to anyone's, no disrespect to anyone's lifestyle. But if you still eat McDonald's, you don't care what you put in your body. And if you don't care what you put in your body, then like any one of the other products that you consume on a daily basis that is pushed by like the mainstream narrative, from commercial ads to movie ads, plugs. It's like that's where the question of vaccines come into play. Are you okay with changing who you are?
That's
you were like.
I'll say this. I think it's I think it's people being lazy because there's an answer, right? And you've heard it on other podcasts. I listen to Rogan and he talks about it. No one talks about getting healthy, and I'm not healthy, man. Like I'm not there. I'm working on it, but I'm not there. So you'd rather, instead of get healthy and do the hard work, you'd rather take something that will change it. And again, that's why I don't like.
It's a touchy subject.
Yeah, it's a very touchy subject.
And to be honest, like when I first approached Steve to do the podcast, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna fucking, and then I kind of stopped myself, and it's like, as much as it is a very pressing subject, I don't want to fuck your guys' shit up, and I'd rather just kind of like.
I think we've had a great conspiracy show so far.
We barely scratched the fucking
there's
so
much. We never hit 9/11. We never hit like JFK. Because I really like that JFK shit. Not that he got killed, but like all the like, even what's a big one with me too is like I've been watching a lot of like narco stuff. And there's so many fucking things coming out.
You said you had a homegirl that kind of had a little bit of a insight as to like what.
Yeah, dude. And Andrea Hernandez, she wrote a book, and I mean, fuck, dude, it's awesome.
I downloaded it. I haven't started listening.
Dude, hey man, and not only that though, but it's like even like the whole Kiki Camarena, when they did that one, they did some The Last Narc on Amazon. This guy went and he found the guys that actually like kidnapped him and all this shit. And he's like, nah, the CIA killed him, bro. You know, under there, and all this shit's come out. So it's not like we're not conspiracy. You go on Amazon Prime, The Last Narc, check it out. It's fucking a good show.
I mean, like, it's common knowledge. Maybe I'll say
Freeway Rick Ross, all these guys.
Yeah. It's like you name it. All these motherfuckers, like, they have some involvement with the CIA. And
how do you think a nobody governor from a state like Arkansas gets elected to the presidency? It's like the mob, man. You become a good earner, and this fool became a good earner. This fool became a good earner by dealing coke.
Yeah, JFK.
Specifically, Clinton became a good earner by dealing fucking coke. You know,
okay.
So he became a good earner and got elected to the presidency.
There's this guy. Maybe if there's any future podcasts, there's a few individuals that I will like name drop as who you guys kind of like look into to kind of put you onto the kind of broader scale as to like what some of these.
Name drop, bro.
Hold on.
There's a few that I have now.
Ready, go.
Yeah. I mean, they're just like they're all across the board, from chemtrails to
here we go. Give us as homework, because we're gonna have you on again for sure, 100%. Right. Give us a little homework on some of the stuff that we should look up, and the audience as well, so we can get in the chat, maybe get a phone call, and like, what are the things that you want to like kick knowledge on us with, real quick? Like, something we should look up.
So I mean, like
rabbit holes.
Okay, rabbit holes. So I think where it all starts and where it all kind of like gets to intertwined is like the CIA, right? Like, how many projects have the CIA are they involved with that like have in one way or another like fucked, like specifically the American people.
Did you read The Devil's Chessboard?
No.
I've skimmed through. It's fucking thick.
Who does it?
I'll tell you right now.
Okay, Devil's Chessboard, guys, check it out. Who do you have? Do you have anybody that we should look up?
Let's see here. Well, Bill Cooper. Bill Cooper is definitely someone you want to look into. Bill Cooper does Behold the Pale Horse. He talks about like the CIA's involvement with the Illuminati, which is like pretty much a conglomerate of like the world's leaders, where they're all individual secret societies. Because at the end of the day, like, we all know secret society is like a thing, right? We watched it on The Simpsons from the Skull and Bones.
Oh yeah.
Right, and so we know that it's a thing. Like, the Illuminati is pretty much a household name at this point. And so he talks about like how it's all kind of interconnected with the CIA, how they've had an agenda with pushing our media from, Disney to like, our news to our like the movies we watch.
Hey, here's one question. How the fuck do the Simpsons know all this shit?
Because they have a bunch of Harvard writers there, and Harvard is like the center of where a lot of this happens.
So I mean, to me at one point I was like, "Well, that's crazy," but no, just they're part of the they're part of the crew.
They're part of the
they have the script, so then they're just gonna sit here and write shit. So that when you watch it on their show, and then you see it in real life, you're like, oh, I've seen this on TV, so this is okay, right? It's a form of disclosure. It makes you desensitized to what they want you to digest and to kind of metabolize and like accept as a reality. Because, I'm gonna say it, a lot of our shit is fabricated. I hate to say it, but Donald Trump was right in that, fake news. It's been a thing for fucking years that they've controlled our news, our actual the movies that we watch, the TV shows that from again to The Simpsons, where they are all interconnected. They're all Freemasons. They're all Luminarian. Order of the I think Order of the Elite is what they call themselves. They're all just a big homie. They're all homies. They're all a crew that they fucking sit here and like they are the ones that dictate as to like how we are gonna progress as a world.
David Talbot's the guy who wrote The Devil's Chessboard.
David Talbot?
Yeah.
It sounds familiar.
Alan Dulles, the CIA.
Yeah. So Alan Dulles, I believe he was JFK fired him, right? JFK fired him because he was the one that started the Bay of Pigs. He was the one that made JFK look like JFK was the one that wanted to start shit in Cuba. I'm actually fucking Cubano, Mexicano. So to me, it's just kind of like, all right, you have like this kind of like, yes, communist fucking nation that was trying to do what they were trying to do, but they were trying to do shit on their own. America was willing to poke something with Cuba so they could potentially start the next fucking war, right? They're willing to sacrifice their own people to infringe on our rights. You know, it's something that we've experienced with 9/11. Again, something that we're experiencing now. You know, it's look, take a step back and look at the writing on the wall. This is a fucking pattern, you know?
Will there be a revolution, bro?
I don't know. That's a good question. But if there is one, then I know that there will be, I feel like there will be like people that are like willing to like to bet it all. I know that there.
Oh, I think there's a shit ton of
there's
fools
there's
that are
like that I know of. There's militias that are like already in place, kind of.
Whichever groups, there's a gang of groups
There's
that
a
are like
gang
down
of
for,
motherfuckers.
and like I'm not with any of them. That's the problem. Like I'm so ready for, I'm
But I think
ready
there's-
for a revolution, but
but I
not
thi-
with any of the groups that are fucking all of these
Yeah.
asshole groups. I want nothing to do with
But
any
I
of
think
them.
there's also like a shit ton of fools that aren't with them that are down.
Yeah. But you know
know
what it is?
what I'm
Okay, you know what it is? Like
That's the
there's
people.
There's people that are
Yes,
like
I'm saying,
when
but
shit
then-
when shit pops, they're just like fucking willing to fucking.
You have to sort of join. You
Yeah,
know what
you
I
gotta
mean?
like there has to be some sort like the only way that we're gonna get saved. Again, I think it's that overall message of love where Daryl Davis talks about like we just gotta come together, you know, like fucking like really come together and understand each other's strengths, you know, and help each other with each other's weaknesses. If one own is in that moment to be able to give that kind of support. But I think that's what's going to save us is like we come together, we understand that like no one's going to fucking save us. Like we are
Like
you,
Spartans,
like you
bro.
like yeah you are like you're going to save you. Like you know educate yourself on what the fuck you should be eating, what you should be watching, what you should be listening to. You know, as I mentioned, like the frequency. Yes, frequency is very important, but like listen to all this
Listen to
Mumble.
this. Listen to this. This podcast
Yeah.
every Tuesday.
this mumble rap movement where it's self-deprecating, you know
Yeah.
you have Tupac talking about fucking like like boosting yourself up, respecting women, protecting women, like we come from a woman. Do you have some fucking Gucci gang talking about like fuck a bitch, like I don't know a bitch.
Hip hop is my pocket, and let me tell you, it is all. It since the beginning, there's been lyricists out there, and those have never been pushed to the front. Like since the beginning, there have been people pushing revolution and pushing like this was hip hop is revolution music. Like that's what it is. The people's music, and the bullshit part of it has been pushed since it got invented. The Sugar Hill Gang was the first fucking
it's
like this is not hip hop. Like this is fucking bullshit.
But
Lollipops.
here's the thing though, it's like it's been infiltrated,
Yeah, hell yeah.
and it's like it's been infiltrated.
How about
for
that
a
cat
minute.
that wanted to do the Satan shoes with his blood in it?
Yeah, Little Nas X.
Look,
yeah.
the fact that Satanic Panic still works and that people were like, ah, and he made a bunch of money off of it.
No, he never made no
is-
money. They canceled him.
Yeah.
made
Cancel
I mean,
shoes.
to be honest,
In
I'm like,
money and promotion, he made
No,
more-
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
get out of here.
Like,
He
okay,
made-
okay.
But to me, it's like
if
that's
you,
like
yeah,
that's lame. Bro.
yeah.
Of course it's lame, but it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. It's
I
fucking.
mean, I think it worked for a point in time, but I think that this specific like endeavor, this project, this like leap of faith, like didn't really work out for them that well because it's my understanding that Nike I think they both might have pulled out at it because like they realized that it was not.
Yeah, but the point was never the shoes. The point was the promotion. Like,
Yeah,
who fucking,
yeah.
It doesn't matter if those
But
shoes
I mean,
ever
to me,
get
I don't know. It's
sold.
like okay, so again, if you would have asked me like six years ago, 5 years ago, like whatever, but knowing what I know now, and knowing how the world works, I think that's kind of like a satanic ritual in everyone's face. And the thing is there's an individual, I think he was a Freemason by the name of Manly P. Hall, where he writes, where the day that man learns to read symbolism is the downfall and the demise of like the secret societies amongst us, and to the normal desensitized folk, it's like, oh, whatever, it's some artist being artistic. I used to think that, but I now feel like there's a concerted effort, and this is done by like chance. This is done on purpose, and this is again like a global, satanic. Well, like what they produce 666 pairs of the shoe,
Yeah.
and they priced it at however much, and it contained like 1 milliliter, 1 milliliter of human blood.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like like going back to the whole satanic Luciferian cult that runs the world. one of the biggest names in conspiracy is Alex Jones. And I know that he's very controversial, but he's known for exposing the Bohemian Rhapsody.
Sure.
I think it was like in the 90s or something where you have, some of the biggest names participating in what is like supposed to be like the burning of an effigy, which is supposed to like mimic that of a child or something. And it's supposed to be, again, some sort of tribute, something they pay back, so that it's this whole order is feng shui. It's this give and take. There's rules to this dimension that they know that they have to participate in. By doing these things, they are then like nullified, or they are like then like void from any sort of responsibility, or they become immune to what they do in the world. But so as long as they participate in these rules, then they cannot be caught. They don't have any sort of karmatic debt. And so I think that I used to think things happen by coincidence, and it's not the case anymore.
And you want to know something, guys? You know how we fucking beat them? With fucking love.
Yeah.
We fucking beat them with love, and you beat them by tuning in every fucking Tuesday at 8 p.m. to this show, whether it's on fucking Twitch, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on fucking YouTube. Check us out also on fucking Wednesday. Listen to this again on Tuesday.
The magic.
On fucking on iTunes, bro.
This one you probably have to listen to a couple times.
And I'm gonna tell you, not only do we have to
like,
listen to it again, but we got to bring you back
Absolutely.
again, bro.
Yeah,
because we only hit a couple of subjects.
And we just scratched that.
Yeah,
we didn't
yeah.
there was no deep dives. This
Hell
was
no.
just like scratching the surface. On
I
some
mean, I
shit.
got homework, bro. I got some homework.
Yeah,
I gotta
there
do
you go,
and
there you
shit.
go. So-
I'm gonna work on fucking
There you
lucid dreaming. I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking work at getting
Yeah,
out of my
yeah.
fucking body again and fucking doing all that shit. Breathing, of course.
Look
you know
into
what I mean?
everyone should look into Wim Hof. Like Wim
Yeah.
Hof is
William Hof,
is-
Hof.
dude.
yeah.
William Hof, and learn to breathe.
Wim Hof is
learn to
the
breathe.
like prophet is such a stupid word, but this man has brought knowledge that was unknown about the human body, about what we're capable of, and all this shit, and was mocked. And then he was like, "Oh, well, I can totally do it." Like,
And did it.
Yeah, they're like, "All right." They're like, "Oh, can you do it in a laboratory?" And he's like, "Yeah, totally." They're like, "Well, whatever rules you want to set, like I can do it." And
I'll
it's
beat
like
your
this,
rules.
this fool has been sent from another goddamn dimension.
He came.
Or the knowledge was sent from another fucking because this is his method. He did this.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck told you? Like who told you that this was gonna work?
Him
He's
from
like, you know
another
what? He was
dimension.
like, you know what? I think if I fucking breathe a bunch, I'm pretty sure I can beat diseases and make my heart good
Hey,
and can control all those things. Like, I'll bet you, all these things that we think we're not in control of, like our heart beating and our stomach digesting and all that stuff. Well, it turns out, if you concentrate real hard, you're in charge of that too.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna breathe myself to 200, bitch.
Ah!
I'm gonna breathe myself to 200. I'm gonna breathe myself to this show.
No
being
diet, no
the number
exercise.
one. Hell no.
Pure
breathing.
breath, pure
Pure
breath.
breath. I'm gonna breathe this show to the number one show.
On Earth, in
On Earth.
all the dimensions.
Not even
in
live.
every
Yeah.
dimension.
Not only
Interdimensional.
live, because we're
Interdimensional.
already the number one live show. Well, I'm gonna breathe this show into being the number one show overall. You know what I'm saying? And I do want to thank Casual Carl, my boy.
Yes,
Man,
absolutely. Super fun.
Thank
Yeah,
you for
thank you
coming
guys,
through,
thank you.
dude. We're definitely
Yeah.
gonna have to fucking bring you back for sure.
Yes, I like that. I love that.
You know,
Yeah.
They're asking for him
yeah,
back.
they're already asking for
yeah,
him
on
back.
Twitch.
Yeah.
So fuck yeah. So we'll definitely
Back
bring
on
you back, and
liberation.
then we'll hit other.
Because
other
I would like to talk about robotic police dogs. Too.
Yeah, I
would
saw
like
that too, but I knew that was like going to be
yeah.
another
Shit.
fucking.
The only thing that I'm happy about robotic police, like, do they bite? Because
Nah.
if not, they're better. You
But
know
they
what I mean?
probably,
These
yeah,
dogs,
yeah, yeah.
they
these
probably
dogs
shoot
are-
though.
Yeah. They
Fuck
taste
you,
you.
rockets. Bite me.
Yeah.
I'd rather you bite me than shoot me. Shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Fuck. You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
I didn't think far enough because my first thought was they don't bite, but I never thought
Like
they
anything,
probably
anything,
shoot.
anything
They
robotic.
probably got
like-
taser teeth.
Oh yeah, shoot or fucking taser.
Yeah, anything robotic? No, bueno.
No, absolutely.
Cops,
100%.
humans suck, but I'm pretty sure that the robots.
I just don't want to get bit by
But
a
hold
dog.
on, actually, I love
No.
robots. So in case they ever take over someday, don't fuck with me.
Yeah, hey, thank robot
love you.
overlords. I've been on your side
Yeah,
this
yeah.
whole fucking time, man.
Why don't you come? We'll interview you.
yeah.
But thank you guys, man. Again,
Yeah, hell
man.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
fucking great show.
Thank you, boys.
It's the West Coast Pop Lock Podcast. That's how we
Forever.
do it. You know what I'm saying? Again, give my boy a follow here. What's your Instagram?
It's Casual Carl, ITS, Casual Carl, on IG. So
Give him a follow, man. He's cool as fuck. and he
I'm
makes
working
dope
on
cookies.
potentially putting together a YouTube channel that I'll be able to like put this podcast on.
As soon as that happens, you come back in and
Yeah.
promote that
Yeah.
shit too.
Fuck
You
yeah.
fucking do that. All of it.
Thank you, boys. Appreciate
Hell
it.
yeah.
And don't forget, West Coast Pop Lock Podcast, your number one center for everything West Coasty. Get us across all your favorite social media platforms, everywhere you get your podcast. We're in it. The number one live podcast, Tuesdays.
The West Coast Pop Lock Podcast.com. Mario81. That dude, Johnny C.
That's me.
And I'm your boy, Super Steve. We will definitely see you next Tuesday.
We out.
Chew!